registrants. We can go ahead and get started. So, welcome everyone. My name is Nicole Outlaw. I am the founder and president of Bertie Business Network. We are a nonprofit organization that supports small businesses by providing resources, providing opportunities for peer collaboration, training, and support. We are based in northeastern North Carolina in Bertie County. However, we do serve much of the eastern region, and we do extend to some parts of Virginia as well as other communities in South Carolina and other areas where we have had members in the past. We offer virtual workshops such as this one through partnerships. We are a member-based organization, but most of our workshops are open to the public. We do some in person and virtual. Virtual seems to be the better way to convene folks during the weekday. And just looking at where our needs are as an organization, a lot of folks were interested in selling in the marketplace, particularly with Amazon. So we reached out I reached out to a partner of mine that's actually with Amazon in the veteran services in the West Coast, and he connected me with Abby, who connected me with Diana. So I am not going to waste any time because Diana did say that there's lots of information to cover, so we'll go ahead and get started. Just a little housekeeping. If you have questions, feel free to drop those in the chat and Diana will address those the last 10 minutes of the presentation. So without further ado, Diana, I'll kick it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole. And hello, everyone. Good evening. Good afternoon. My name is Diana Mungu, and I am a program manager for Amazon's Small Business Partnerships and Educations team. And today I'm here to talk to you about how to start selling in Amazon store. Now, there's quite a bit to cover in today's presentation, so I'll be mindful of the time and make sure that I leave the last 10 minutes for any Q&A. But super high level for today's agenda, I'm going to cover what to sell in Amazon store and why sell in Amazon store. Then I'll talk about how you can get started with listing products and also delivering them to your end customer. And before I do wrap up, I'm going to share a couple of opportunities for growth as a small business, as well as some free educational resources that we have to help you navigate selling in Amazon store much further. So I've been with Amazon for about 2.5 years now, and I started off as a sales account manager. So I had the opportunity to work with several small businesses, which we refer to as our independent sellers, and help them kind of navigate how to start their accounts, grow their accounts, and further scale in Amazon store. And so given that knowledge that I've had, I've come over to this team here as a program manager, and I've been in this role for the last 18 months. So I've been having the pleasure to work with various nonprofit partners that we have to teach those that are interested about selling an Amazon store, how they can start, grow, and scale their business. So I'm hoping that after you guys sit through today's presentation, you'll have the knowledge and clarity on how to start that business here with Amazon. So when you become a seller in Amazon store, you get access to hundreds of millions of customers worldwide, and you become part of a retail destination that's home to sellers of all kinds. As I mentioned, we reach hundreds of millions of customers worldwide in our consumer store, Amazon.com. In our B2B store, Amazon Business, we reach over 6 million worldwide active accounts. And with Amazon Business, you have the opportunity to not only sell to other businesses, but also to other customers as well, so individual customers. And Amazon delivers to more than 100 countries and regions. Now, the advice I always give to small businesses when they begin selling an Amazon store is to really understand who is Amazon's customer and what they're coming to look for when they shop in the store. So in 2024, Amazon was ranked the most trusted retail and e-commerce brand by US consumers, and 56% of those consumers start their product searches on Amazon. And that's because they trust that when they're searching for a product in Amazon store, times out of 10, they'll be able to find that product. Also, please note that 77% of those shopping queries, so those keywords that they're searching on our engine, are brand agnostic. So what that means is that they're first looking at the utility of the product, then they come to discover the brand. So say, for example, you are looking for some type of Korean skincare beauty product, or you're looking for a new electric toothbrush. You might search the keywords Korean skincare or electric toothbrush. From there, you're going to be brought to a landing page that has several different products. And once you discover a product that you really like, you might lean into that brand more and start to see what are the other product offerings. So again, it's a great way to start fresh and kind of start to grow your brand awareness, and eventually get that loyalty from those customers that want to be repeat buyers. Now, Amazon operates in over 19 global stores worldwide. More recently, we launched a global store in Amazon South Africa. So what that essentially means is that we have independent selling partners or small businesses that are selling out of these markets. Within the North America professional selling plan that we offer, you are able to sell in the United States, Mexico, Canada, and as well as Brazil. They've looped Brazil into that professional selling plan. And I'll touch on the different pricings that we have for selling plans a little further down in today's presentation. So selling online has also demonstrated so many ways for growth opportunities. More than 60% of sales in Amazon store come from independent sellers, most of which are small to medium-sized businesses. So you're probably wondering, hey, Diana, what does that mean for a small business like myself? Well, for independent sellers in our store, last year alone, they sold more than 4.5 billion products and averaged more than $250,000 in annual sales. Now, for the state of North Carolina specifically, you all have about 11,000 independent sellers who averaged around $175,000 annually and sold more than 64 million products. So now that you kind of understand who the target customer is in Amazon store, and why they come to shop in Amazon store, let's talk about what to sell and when. So these are some just key things to look out for when you're thinking about what products to sell in Amazon store. You want to sell a product that is easy to package and ship. You want to make sure that your cost of goods sold is not that much, right? You want to make sure that your margins, you're not racing against tight margins. You're making sure that you're able to help a healthy profit after you have purchased all your raw materials, shipped your product to the customer, and made that sale. So making sure that you're reducing your package sizing to minimize your shipping costs is really important. You want to look at products that have branding potential. And branding potential can mean one of two things. It can mean that you have really unique packaging or a cool brand name that is catchy or appealing to a consumer, or you have brand protection, meaning that you have trademarked your brand and that is your intellectual property. You want to sell products that are affordable to customers. I would say on average, items that are sold in Amazon store are typically priced under $100, with the exception of categories like consumer electronics or some of the other categories that like, I don't know, furniture, right? That might have higher price points that are above $100. But on average, price points are under $100. And last but certainly not least, if you are selling a product that is what we call consumable, so it's something that has an expiration date, whether it be something that is consumed orally, so food products, whether it's something that is applied topically, so skincare products, anything that has an expiration date, you want to make sure that on your packaging, that expiration date is visible to the customer and it's also visible to our fulfillment associates here at Amazon. Because what they'll do is pull the product out based on the expiration date and ship it to the customer, kind of like a first in, first out model. And for best practice or just a rule of thumb, you want to make sure that your product has an expiration date that is at least 6 months long. So from the time I, as the customer, receive your product, I have at least 6 months before that product expires. So now let's talk about when to sell an Amazon store. Three key things here that I will hound on, and I always do when I'm talking to small businesses, is to make sure that you are ready to sell an Amazon store or you're ready to sell your product, period. First and foremost, you want to understand who your target customer is. This is a point that I cannot stress enough. Oftentimes, when we start a business, we think that, hey, this business is fulfilling the need for all customers, when in reality, it might be a niche product or for a select number of customers. So, truly understanding in the beginning phases, as you do your market research, who is your ideal customer that wants to buy this product? If you're selling a baby product, are you selling it to parents, right? Are you selling it to elderly grandmas and grandfathers that are wanting to purchase this for their grandbabies? Understanding who is buying the product is really important. Of course, you can always do some more market research as you're selling the product and you might come across a new target audience. But initially, it's important to kind of figure out those 1 to 3 customers that you really want to target. Next thing is to have your product that's ready to ship. The last thing you want to do is market a product, not have the inventory in place, and then someone starts to place an order and you have to cancel that order. That is going to lead to a negative customer experience, and that will impact your account health in Amazon store. And last but certainly not least, ensuring that you have a proper supply chain in place, meaning that you have a proper avenue to source your product. If you send something to Amazon, and you run out of inventory and you need to re-up on your inventory, you want to make sure that you have a process in place to do that, to keep up with the demand. Now let's discuss how to get started in Amazon store. On Amazon, we have the option of 2 different selling plans, both that you can upgrade and downgrade at any given time. So there's not a contractual obligation that, every month you have to stick to one particular plan. One day you can say, hey, I want to start with the individual selling plan. The next month, you might want to switch to the professional selling plan. But I just want to go over the 2 different plans and how they vary. For your very first plan here, we have the individual selling plan. This plan comes at 99 cents per unit sold. This is recommended for small businesses or brands that plan to sell fewer than 40 items a month, and you don't need access to any advanced sales reporting or business tools. This might also be a good plan if you're still experimenting or trying to determine what you want to sell on Amazon. But you still want to have access to the actual interface of Seller Central, which is the main dashboard where you would manage your Amazon account. Now, the professional selling plan, on the other hand, comes at a monthly cost of $39.99 a month. And this is ideally recommended for those that have an established brand or know what particular products they're going to sell. You plan to sell, more than 40 items per month. You want access to advanced sales reporting tools. And you also want to participate in various programs like Amazon Handmade, sponsored advertising, and fulfillment by Amazon. Now, once you've decided on your selling plan, you're going to want to create your account. So earlier I mentioned that we have Amazon.com, which is our consumer store where you sell direct to the consumer. And then we have Amazon Business, which gives you the opportunity to offer bulk pricing to various businesses as well as individuals. If you decide that you want to go with Amazon Business, you would go to business.amazon.com to create your account. If you want to sell in the consumer store, you would go to sell.amazon.com. And here's what you're going to need to start creating your account. You're going to want a bank account number and a routing number, a chargeable credit card that can be kept on file. You'll need to upload a government issued national ID as well as tax information as well. Once you've registered for your Amazon account, you're going to be brought to the main dashboard, and this is referred to as Seller Central. Think of this as your one-stop shop for navigating your selling account. This is where you can keep track of inventory, update your product listings, ship product to the customer or ship it to one of our fulfillment centers so that Amazon can ship the product to the customer on your behalf. You can also open a help ticket with our customer service. We refer to them as seller support. That is our in-house customer service. And then you can also keep track of your daily sales and your performance. Now let's talk about how to list products in Amazon store. Here's all that you'll need for listing. I'm going to quickly go through this list here and just kind of call out some of the key things. The first is selecting your product category. So in Amazon store, we have over 35 categories and over 25,000 subcategories. So let me provide you an example of that. The category shoe, that's considered a main category. But within shoes, you can sell high heels, boots, men's shoes, women's shoes, kids' shoes, right? There's so many different subcategories that fall under the main category of shoes. So you'll want to select which category you want to sell in. Next, you'll want to upload or search for a product ID. This is considered a UPC, so a Universal Product Code, and you can visit gs1.org to obtain that UPC code. So think of a UPC code as the barcode that you see on a product. That is a Universal Product Code. And what that actually helps you do is track your product's inventory across multiple sales channels. So say you're selling on Shopify, on Walmart, on Target, and also on Amazon. You might have just one product ID to keep track of your inventory across all those sales channels. Now, a SKU, on the other hand, keeps track of your inventory based on the variation. And what I mean by variation is the difference in the product. So say you have a black t-shirt, but that black t-shirt also comes in red, in blue, in green. All those different colors are what we call variations. Same thing with food products. If you have a bag of chips that comes in one flavor, but then you have that same bag of chips that comes in 3 different flavors. Say the example is Sun Chips, right? Think they have like 8 or 10 different flavors in Sun Chips. Those are all different variations. And that specific brand is going to have a SKU for each variation. That is the way they are able to identify each variation in their inventory. The other code that you are going to have is an ASIN, or what we call Amazon Standard Identification Number. This is auto-generated by Amazon. So there's nothing you have to do to get this number. They're going to automatically assign it to your product once you create your listing. And then the last couple of key things here for your product listing are product title, descriptions, and bullets. And on the back end, you can actually embed search terms that are relevant to your product. And this helps with your overall search ranking in Amazon store. Now, when creating your product listing, you want to make sure you have a clear title, high quality zoomable images. We recommend anywhere from 4 to 5 images. You can even upload a video if you are a brand owner. And then you also want to make sure that you have accurate product descriptions. So on the right-hand side here, you see an example graphic of this pink teddy bear. The main image in Amazon store is always going to be on a white background. All following images are going to be more lifestyle images. So it might show this teddy bear that's on a kitchen counter, or it might show like a little boy or a little girl that's playing with a teddy bear. Those are all type of lifestyle images. But the main image is always going to be on a white background. Now, within your product listing title, there are a couple of best practices that help with overall search and the customer experience as they're shopping in our store. First, you want to capitalize the first letter of each word. You want to avoid using all caps. That looks like you're screaming at someone. For anything that you're selling in a variety pack, so in packs of 2 or in packs of 4, you want to use numerals like the number 2 versus the word 2. Keep your product title at a maximum of 50 characters. I always say short and sweet is best. It just makes it easier for a customer to scan the product title and understand, in few words, what the product is that they're looking at. You don't need to use price in the product title because there's already a section on the product detail page that has price, and then avoid using any promotional or subjective commentary. Now, more recently, the use of AI or artificial intelligence has been the talk of the town, and Amazon is at the forefront of this. We have invested in various technologies to help you as a small business write engaging and effective product listings. We have a built-in AI tool that is going to help draft your product descriptions by you simply entering a couple of words. So the example I have here on the screen is this is a mouse pad and a gel wrist. if you just type in those keywords, what that AI tool is going to do is populate a couple of sentences or even a paragraph that would describe just a general mouse pad and gel wrist. And then you can go ahead and customize that text. That way it fits the specific criteria of your product. And the reason this tool was introduced was for the simple fact that when you're creating a listing in Amazon store or just creating listings online in general, it can be a time-consuming task. So Amazon wants to always find ways to make processes more efficient. That way you as a small business owner are not bogged down with just creating products all day. You can focus on other revenue generating activities. Now, here at Amazon, we're always looking at ways to help small businesses protect their brands. And so we have a free program called Amazon Brand Registry. This is going to help you protect your intellectual property, manage your listings, and also grow your business through various brand building tools. Now, you do need to have a federal trademark in order to enroll in Amazon Brand Registry, and it has to be an active trademark. If you do not have a trademark, what you can do is leverage our Amazon IP Accelerator program, which is going to connect you to businesses and trusted IP law firms that can help you quickly obtain those IP rights. And with a pending trademark application through the IP Accelerator, you can then enroll in Amazon Brand Registry and take advantage of those benefits. And speaking of benefits, one of the key benefits of being enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry is your ability to create your own brand store. So think of this as your own direct-to-consumer website on Amazon. You can showcase your brand and catalog of products in a multi-page immersive shopping experience. And on average, brands with a store saw 31 times more repeat purchases in the last 60 days than brands that did not have a store. And 45% of customers who browse a brand store just once, they continue using that brand on an ongoing basis. So brand stores have been effective in driving more loyal and repeat customers. And one thing that we also have in beta phase right now, so they're testing it with a couple of customers and a couple of our sellers, is the ability to shop brands directly. So Amazon is testing this new shopping experience that's in beta that will link customers directly to a brand's website. This is going to allow that customer to discover additional product offerings that are sold with that brand outside of Amazon store. Currently, this experience is available within Amazon's shopping app for both iOS and Android. And on the right-hand side is just an image of what that looks like. So you might come across a couple of products on Amazon, and then there's going to be this, shop brands directly button. If you click that button, it's going to then direct you to that specific brand's website outside of Amazon. Now let's talk about how you can deliver products in Amazon store. Before you ship any products, it's really important to understand what are your package and prep considerations. So let's go through a couple of them here today. If you have a product that is temperature sensitive, so it's a product that melts, needs specific freezer storage capabilities, whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that that special packaging is already in place before you ship that product into Amazon store. In order to have proper refrigeration. So I always use the example of chocolate, right? It's something that melts. And actually in Amazon store during the summer
Hey,
months.
Diana,
Mhm.
I'm sorry. For some reason, somebody else's screen is sharing. Okay, there we go.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Are we good
You're
now?
good. Yes.
Perfect, perfect. So, for example, chocolate is something that melts. So during the summer months, chocolate is prohibited in Amazon's fulfillment centers. That doesn't mean that you yourself can't ship products to the customer, but Amazon is not going to keep that product in our fulfillment centers because they cannot guarantee that that chocolate is not going to melt. But throughout the rest of the year, right, you can certainly sell chocolate bars. So if you are selling something like chocolate or candles or anything that melts, just make sure you have proper refrigeration in place for that. If you have a product that has expiration date, keep in mind that you want that expiration date to be visible on the packaging. in order to help us manage first in, first out, meaning once it gets to fulfillment center, we're going to pick the first product that is going to expire the soonest and ship it to the customer, because we want to make sure that when the customer receives that they're able to get that product and use that product well before the expiration date. Same thing with fragile and heavy items. If you have anything that is fragile or heavy, just make sure to mark it on the box so that we are aware that it is fragile or heavy. For those of you that are interested in delegating your fulfillment, so you're like, you know what, Diana, I have no time to manage inventory or ship products to a customer. I would rather Amazon do so. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks for inventory to be processed inbound to our fulfillment centers. And during peak seasons, meaning like holiday or the busier seasons that we have, excuse me, such as Prime Day, which happens in July and October, it can take anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks for those items to be processed into our fulfillment center. So you just want to keep that in mind when you're shipping something to Amazon to ship on your behalf to the customer. So when you sell on Amazon, you can choose from 3 different types of fulfillment methods. Fulfillment by Amazon, so that is where we pick, pack, and ship the product to the customer on your behalf and manage any customer service or returns. Fulfillment by merchant, that's when you as the small business or the business pick, pack, and ship the product to the customer. Amazon is not the middleman there to manage that for you. And the last is Seller Fulfilled Prime. This is a program whereby you, as a small business, you can ship the product to the customer and qualify for the Prime badge, right? So that is the I think it's orange badge that appears, orange or yellow badge that appears on your product detail page, which means that if I am a Prime customer, I can get that product in 1 to 2 business days, sometimes same day, right? And we have over 200 million paid Prime customers that get that experience. To qualify for Seller Fulfilled Prime and get that Prime badge, you do have to meet some pretty strict guidelines in fulfilling orders. So you do need to ship that product so the customer can get it within 1 to 2 business days. And so if that's not something that you say, you know, I don't have time to do that, you can certainly ship on your own through fulfillment by merchant or delegate the shipping to Amazon and you'll automatically get that Prime badge because Amazon is going to ship on your behalf. So as I briefly mentioned, you're able to save time and grow your business with Fulfillment by Amazon, also referred to as FBA, because we do all the heavy lifting for you. And also contrary to popular belief, shipping with FBA costs 70% less per unit for premium shipping options than other major carriers. And for standard ground shipping, it is 30% less than other major carriers here in the US. Now, I always recommend that you leverage this free revenue calculator for Fulfillment by Amazon. What this allows you to do is do a side-by-side cost comparison to determine whether FBA is right fit for you. You can see by inputting your cost of goods sold on one end and then inputting a couple of rows here on the right-hand side. There's some other things that are already going to be pre-generated or pre-populated for you when you're using FBA, but you can do, again, a side-by-side comparison and see what is the right fit for your business. I always say, choose the fulfillment method that is right for your business. Now let's dive into opportunities for growth because we have a ton of them. The first being customer reviews. So let's first address why customer reviews are important in the first place, because they are very important. Customer reviews provide social proof. So reviews provide a credible third-party perspective on a product, allowing potential buyers to gauge the quality and reliability of the product. Please put a 1 in the chat if you've ever looked at a customer review to help inform your purchasing decision. Just like a testimonial on a product or anything like that. Just put a 1 in the chat. Awesome. I know I do. I do that for whether it's on Amazon, whether it's on some, direct to consumer website, wherever it is, I'm going to go to the reviews first to determine A, is this product legitimate? And B, does this product do what it says it does? The next point that I want to make here is that with customer reviews, it can help you with search ranking. Items that have high ratings oftentimes appear more prominently in search, and that's just because these are favorable items by customers. Customer reviews also help with brand reputation building. So, having consistent positive reviews can help build trust with customers and overall enhance a seller's brand image. And last but certainly not least, you want to use customer reviews as a feedback mechanism. Oftentimes, sellers might leave nasty reviews, they might leave really good reviews. No matter what the review is, good or bad, there's always something as a business that you can take away from a review that can help you improve upon your product. So definitely use that tough love or that criticism to help make your product much better. So whether it's the taste of the product, the size of the product, or the color of the product, you want to always take every review into consideration, and make the necessary changes where needed to better improve your business. And Amazon knows and has identified how important customer reviews are. So, a couple of years back, Amazon introduced the Vine program. So, with Amazon Vine, you as a small business are able to receive insightful reviews from some of the most trusted reviewers in Amazon store who are essentially going to receive your product for free, and then they're going to leave an unbiased review. The key thing here is that the review is unbiased. So you're not buying a review from a customer, you're essentially giving away free swag or free product, and that customer is going to leave you a review. They have up to 90 days to leave your review when they receive your product. When you enroll in Amazon Vine, you can get as many as 30 high quality reviews per product page. So again, if you're selling 3, 4, 5 different products in Amazon store and you want to get reviews for all of them, each product can get up to 30 different reviews. And Vine reviews have been shown to boost sales by up to 30%. So they can be very, very beneficial. Now, to be eligible for the Amazon Vine program, you do need to be enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry within your first 6 months of selling an Amazon store. One thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about the Vine or the Brand Registry program and with the IP Accelerator program in general, on average, getting a trademark might cost you upwards of $2,500 or $2,500. But when you go through Amazon's IP Accelerator program, you're going to be connected to a trusted and vetted IP law firm, and we have pre-negotiated rates with them. So you can get a trademark for as little as $700, right? Instead of paying $2,500 if you go through our IP Accelerator program. It's also really important to, leverage your existing resources that you have to support you with getting trademarks. So with, the Bertie Business Network, definitely leverage these partners to be able to help you kind of identify, do I need a trademark? How do I get a trademark? They'll be best to, help you, support you in that journey to obtain that as well. So I always say leverage your local resources as well as other third-party resources to do that. Now let's get back to the Vine program here. When you enroll in the Amazon Vine program within 90 days of selling in our store or within 90 days of becoming brand registered, that is going to allow you to be eligible for Vine. So first things first, enroll in brand registry within 6 months of selling in the store, and then enroll in the Amazon Vine program within 90 days of becoming brand registered. Whatever product that you enroll in the Vine program, it has to have fewer than 30 reviews. So if you have a product that you're selling on Amazon, and you've been selling it on Amazon for quite some time, and you say, hey, I want to enroll it in the Vine program, but your product already has, say, 45 reviews, it is ineligible. It has to be a product that has less than 30 reviews to be enrolled into this program. And then last but certainly not least, your products do have to be shipping through FBA. So Amazon has to be the one fulfilling the orders for the customers on your behalf to participate in Amazon Vine. Now let's talk about a couple of do's and don'ts for best practices with customer reviews. So for the do's, you are allowed to send a neutral request in a product insert within your package for the customer. So say I have a package and I put a little thank you letter in there and I say, please leave me a review. Thank you for supporting a small business. Please leave a review. That is what we consider a neutral request. What you cannot do is say, hey, thank you for supporting a small business. Please leave me a 5-star review. I'm going to give you 40% discount on your next purchase. That is a big no-no. And that is going against Amazon's policies and procedures. Another do that we have is that within your actual Seller Central account, when you're managing your seller account, when a customer orders a product, you can go to your Manage Order tab. When you click on that tab, you can review that purchase. Once that product is delivered to the customer, you have within 5 to 30 days of that delivery window to request a review. There's going to be a button that says request a review. And so that's always a really good practice, because I don't know about you, but for me, I purchase a ton of things online and I always forget to leave reviews. And so having that, additional push from, your seller that requests a review afterhand is really, really important. And that helps me just have a friendly reminder to leave a review. Enrolling in Amazon Vine program is a great way to get reviews. And then just one last best practice is monitor your reviews on a regular basis. You want to keep an eye to make sure that you are paying attention to what your customers are saying about your product. Again, use reviews as a feedback mechanism. For a couple of the other don'ts, you aren't allowed to contact customers directly in Amazon store. You're not allowed to manipulate reviews, so you can't ask a friend or a family member to leave a review for your product if they did not purchase the product through Amazon. They have to have purchased a product through Amazon in order to leave a review. Another great way to build, the brand on Amazon store are through promotions and coupons. So these are just short time offerings that really drive urgency for purchases. So when you run a promotion, just by a show of hands, put a 1 in the chat if you've looked for a product on Amazon and you came across a price that had like a strike through. So there was like a line in the price and then it said like 20% off or 40% off. That is an example of a short-term promotion. So that is a way that a business can help drive urgency for purchasing of their product. Another way you can drive urgency are through coupons. So with coupons, it's going to appear like a orange badge that says coupon. And coupon can be a money off, like $5 off, or it can be a percentage off, like 20% off. The key difference between a promotion and a coupon is that with a coupon, the customer has to clip the coupon in order to redeem that discount. So if they come across a product that has a coupon, they add it to their cart, but they don't clip the coupon, that discount is not going to apply when they're going to check out. Whereas on a promotion that has a strike-through pricing, that discount is automatically applied. The customer doesn't need to do anything else to receive that discount. The great thing about promotions and coupons is that you as the business, you get to set the budget, you get to set the duration, so how long you want that coupon or promotion to run, and you get to select what the discount is going to be. Other ways that you can promote your business in Amazon store are through paid advertising. And we have a program called Sponsored Ads. And so with Sponsored Ads, there's 3 different types of campaigns that you can run. The first campaign being sponsored products. So this is when you are going to be promoting an individual product in Amazon store. So again, in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you've come across a sponsored advertisement such as this. So on the far left hand of my screen, you see 2 teddy bears, and I've circled in orange a gray text that says sponsored ad. That lets you know that that particular business is promoting that individual listing. Now, sponsored brands, on the other hand, are going to be cost per click ads that promote overall discoverability for that brand store and the full catalog of products. It usually appears as a banner at the top of your page when you're searching a product. With sponsored products and with sponsored brands, they use keywords to promote individual listings in the brand store. So for example, the reason it's called cost per click is that you as a small business or a business, you're going to be charged for every time someone clicks on your advertisement, not every time someone purchases your product. So This is a great way, again, to just drive awareness for your brand in Amazon store. But you want to be mindful that if you're getting too many clicks and those clicks aren't converting to a sale, then you want to make sure that you X out that keyword and test other keywords. So you can always bid on different keywords, and the bids can range from, say, 10 cents a click to $2 a click. It all depends on how popular that specific keyword is. So if the word teddy bear is really expensive as a keyword and you're paying $2 a click, you might want to try, brown teddy bear. So that's a phrase, and that might be more cost effective for you. The third type of advertisement that you can do is what we call sponsored display. So this is not based on any specific keyword that a customer searches in Amazon store, but more so the overall shopping behavior of that customer. And with sponsored display, you're able to promote on Amazon and off of Amazon. So the example that I have here is of a small business that's based out of my home state of Minnesota. I was talking to them in a conversation via Zoom. I went to the brand owner's website, and then I also went to their Amazon store. And about 10 minutes later, I found myself reading an article on The Guardian. And next thing I know is that I saw this banner display pop up at the very top of my screen, which I've circled here in the image here under sponsored display. And it was promoting that guy's product. So what that let me know is that, hey, the algorithm is paying attention to me looking at the product and not adding it to my cart, or say I added the item to my cart and I just forgot about it and never purchased it. I might get an advertisement like this on a different website. And that's just their way of, promoting their product on and off of Amazon to ensure that they don't miss out on that particular customer because I showed interest in the product, I just didn't purchase it yet. And Amazon is also now investing in various ways to help highlight small businesses in our store. So a couple years back, I think about 2 or 3 years back, they introduced the small business badge. So this is a badge that's going to identify US-based small businesses and brands, and it's going to help customers find small businesses throughout Amazon store. Now, to be eligible for the small business badge, you have to fall under the following criteria. So you have a business that generates less than $50 million annually on and off of Amazon. You need to be brand registered, meaning that you have a trademark for your brand, have fewer than 100 employees, and then your business has to be headquartered here in the US. And that small business badge is going to appear directly on your product detail page, as shown on the right-hand side here with this teddy bear image. We now also have the Amazon Support Small page, which again is a landing page that is dedicated to small businesses. And this was introduced a few years back as well. And it's a curated storefront that highlights Black-owned brands, Latino-owned brands, women-owned brands, veteran-owned brands, and so much more. And this is where you can kind of discover various products that are sold by these diverse groups. In order to qualify for, being featured in the support small page, you do need to upload your diverse business certification within your Seller Central account. So on Seller Central, there's an option to upload certifications, and that is how Amazon is able to identify whether you are certified Black-owned business, certified women-owned business, etc., etc. Finally, I'd like to share some additional resources and programs that help you grow and scale as a small business. Similar to this webinar that I'm doing today with you all, we do have a partnership with SCORE organization where we host both live and on-demand webinars, and we cover various topics. So today's topic is how to start selling an Amazon store, but we also have topics that dive further into advertising an Amazon store. If you have interest in publishing a book, we have Kindle Direct Publishing, and we also have a different presentation called Build a Business with Amazon. So this is going to tap into some of the other programs that we have for businesses that are not necessarily product-based business. So if you're a service-based business and you're wanting to find ways to build a business with Amazon, that might be a good session to tune into. And again, this is all public facing, so it's readily available to any and everyone to watch, both live and on demand. And you would just visit the SCORE website and go to Seller Success Series Amazon. Now, within Seller Central here at Amazon, we have Seller University. So this is going to be a one-stop shop educational resource that is designed to help empower our Amazon selling partners to learn the ins and outs of selling an Amazon store. We do have Amazon Seller University on YouTube, so you can kind of tune into what the offerings are there. I'll be quite frank with you. On Seller Central, if you already have an Amazon account, you'll have access to much more information than what we show on YouTube. We also have a kind of close-knit seller forum or Amazon seller community. And within this forum, you can actually find a lot of great answers to questions. And so here's where our selling partners kind of share best practices, share whatever obstacles they're going through. And there's other selling partners that kind of pitch in to help answer any questions that they have. Now, more recently, we introduced the Growth Education Service. So this is a one-to-one consulting with an Amazon expert to help you grow your business. It also allows you to help develop strategies, talk about promotions and ways to enhance your brand. Now, this is a paid service with a consultant, and you can only get 2 one-hour sessions with the consultant. So just keep that in mind. For those of you that are like, man, Diana, I don't understand advertising online. I don't understand Amazon ads. What do I do? We also have Amazon Ads Academy. So this is a free resource, free educational resource that's going to help elevate your advertising skills online through various free courses and trainings. You can also get a certification in Amazon ads, which can be very helpful in growing your business. We have over 175 different trainings and topics that include optimizing your bids, getting started with budgeting, and things of that nature. And then for those of you that are like, man, Diana, I don't have time to even create an Amazon account, manage an Amazon account, I would say, it's always best to start something first to get an understanding of the basics and the foundation, and then go ahead and delegate it to someone else to manage on your behalf. So we do have a service provider network. This is a network that is exclusive to Amazon selling partners, whereby you can outsource some of your own responsibilities through a vetted professional service team. Some of the support that you can receive is dedicated account management, imaging support, marketing support, tax services support. If you have, interest in international shipping and kind of figuring that piece out, you can also hire someone to support you there. And the biggest benefit here is that you get discounted pricing. And the services are offered in your preferred language, and we have both local and national providers. So once again, this is a service network that is readily available and only exclusive to our Amazon selling partners. And for those of you that make products by hand, so handmade, hand altered products, we have the Amazon Handmade website. So this is similar to, I always say it's similar to Etsy, whereby it's for artisans only. Some of the top categories are home, kitchen, and jewelry. Some of the prohibited products or restricted products include food, electronics, pretty much things that you aren't able to make by hand. Yes, you can make food by hand, but that doesn't fall under our handmade category. We're looking at things like knitted scarves and different vases that you might make, pottery vases, things of that nature, anything that's handmade. And then one of the key benefits of the Amazon Handmade program is that professional selling plan fee of $39.99 a month that I made mention of earlier, that is actually waived. So that is not something you'll have to pay for when you're in this program. This is an application-based program, so you do need to submit an application and just kind of fill out the necessary requirements so that way they are able to thoroughly vet and make sure that you are indeed a handmade brand. And for my team in particular, we are always looking for ways to partner with various nonprofits that share the same mission and vision as us to help the next generation of entrepreneurs. And so here is just a snapshot of some of the businesses and organizations we work with. So SCORE, the SBA, America's SBDC. There's a veteran organization that we work with, different veteran entrepreneurs, and that is the Institute for Veterans and Military Families. Small business expos nationwide. And then there's a women-owned organization called Enthuse Foundation, where we support various women-owned entrepreneurs. I want to say thank you so much to Nicole and her organization, the Bertie Business Network, for allowing me to do today's presentation. There is going to be a survey that I'm going to share with you, which, sorry, let me go and stop sharing my screen real quick. I'm going to unhide this here. If you can please scan this survey, let me know how I did. That would be great. This allows us to cater our services and tailor this education to make sure we're, presenting the right information to you, and ensuring that like we are meeting you where you're at in your business. So if you can scan that survey and just fill it out real quick, it's just about 60 seconds long. That would be greatly appreciated. But without further ado, I'd love to jump into Q&A. I know we have a smaller group here, so if you want to jump on screen, feel free to join me on screen, ask your questions live. I'm going to look at the chat right now to just kind of see what you guys have listed in the chat, if anything. Okay, don't see any questions in the chat. So yeah, anyone, if you want to jump off mute and ask your question, I'm more than happy to help.
I do have one to kick them off. So I have a few, but you started to answer that question as you got down into the seller support opportunity. So it was
Mhm.
one of my questions because I know some of our small businesses here may be like, oh, I don't know where to start. And so just thinking about getting that seller account and learning how to start, you answered the question there.
Mhm.
So one of the things that will be a follow-up workshop actually is trademarking because we do have some folks who make things and that do not currently have trademarks. So
Mhm.
is that a Celebrator program? Do you have to be part of, like, do you have to have a seller account, have your brand registry before you can be a part of the Celebrator program? Or is that something that's offered like separately, or how does that?
No. So for the IP Accelerator program, you do need to be an Amazon seller, but this is kind of like I guess the shortcut that you can have. You know how I mentioned the two different selling plans that you can have? There's the
Mhm.
individual plan where you just create the account, but you're not charged anything until you make a sale. So you can essentially create an account. So you have an active Amazon seller account, not, list anything yet, and then get access to that IP accelerator to say, hey, I want to start selling an Amazon store. I have an Amazon account. Am I able to get in touch with a business to help me get my IP rights quickly obtained? You can certainly go through that path, and several
Okay,
people have done that in order to access that service because it is just for Amazon selling partners at this time.
gotcha.
Yeah. And with the plans, once again, you can upgrade and downgrade at any given time. So I say start with the individual plan. You're not going to pay a dime until you make a
Right.
sale, right? Just so you get access to some of these programs. Same thing with that service provider network. It's exclusive to Amazon selling partners. So as long as you
Hmm.
have an Amazon account, you'll be able to access that and you can see firsthand what the costs are and things like that. Because it's going to vary by provider, but they're all going to be pre-negotiated rates.
Great. I mean, it sounds like there's great benefit to having a seller account in general because there are all those resources and Seller University, Seller and Seller Central, fee that will be, I think, very helpful for someone who is like, I don't know where to start. But as to your point, gradually getting in there and seeing how things work for you. And then when you're ready to start selling, and then you can just, join that network and have them take over your sales. So thank you
Mhm.
for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem.
Didn't know about Amazon Handmade.
Yeah.
That's
So it's been a
very
couple,
neat.
I think since either 2016 or 2017 that they started. But they operate in a couple of different countries now. But yeah, it's awesome.
Cool. We have a visual artist who does a lot of visual collage art, but also
Mm,
crocheting and things of that nature. So
yeah, perfect fit for that program.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking she'll love to see that when I send the recording to the group. But anybody else, you all have the businesses. If you want to come off mute and provide some feedback or ask a question, feel free to do that. We have about 5 minutes left.
I have a question.
Yes.
Um, so you mentioned like when you're doing your pictures and you said the first picture has to be a white background. Is that something that Amazon helps you do, or is that something you have to come with?
So that's something that you have to come with, but there is this website. It's called remove.bg. I'll drop it in the chat. All you have to do is just upload any image that you have, and it's going to remove the background. So it's a free service. Remove.bg.
Okay, thank you.
So it's going to give you that white background.
That's
And
a
that's
good
just for the main image. All other subsequent images or following images can just be like lifestyle shots.
Mhm. Those are helpful because you get to see the size and you can like, compare it, like you said, to a kid. That big teddy bear probably was about the size of a kid. So that gives you
Yeah,
some range of, looking at the size.
exactly. Exactly.
Anybody else?
Was any of this new learning for you all, or is some of this stuff you already knew?
Lots of new learning. I used a few different platforms. I used to have a boutique of my own,
Hmm.
and so I used to use Shopify, and so with Shopify, some of the SKU and like just having inventory, those types of
Hmm.
things. Some of those things are similar, but it's definitely good for a small business who's a retailer to know just like, hey, these are the things I should consider if I want to sell online.
Yep,
The descriptions, having, maybe even starting an Excel file with a, list of all of your descriptions of your product
exactly.
just to get things going.
Exactly. It makes your life so much easier.
It
And there's
does.
actually when you're going to create a product listing, there's 6 different ways that you can create the product listing. So you can either create the individual listing, or if you have like multiple items,
Hmm.
there's a spreadsheet that you can actually download. And then for each row, you just list the product and then you upload that spreadsheet and it's
Hmm.
going to populate in the system for you.
Yeah,
So I would say like if you're a person who or if you're a business that has multiple SKUs, right, to do that manually is going to be time
Ooh,
consuming.
yes,
So just do the spreadsheet where you just plug things in, just upload it, and then the system will do what it does to create that listing for you.
absolutely.
Yeah. And then for those of you that do have like a Shopify website, we do also have different integrations with Shopify. So say for example, a customer purchases a product on your Shopify website, Amazon can ship the product to the customer. There is that integration from a fulfillment standpoint.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's cool. Dr. Walker just dropped a question in the chat, Lakeisha Walker.
Yeah. Is there a scheduled Kindle Direct Publishing seminar? I don't think we have anything on the books, Nicole, yet for Kindle Direct
No.
Publishing. But like I said, we do have this partnership with SCORE organization, and there is a recorded webinar from, I think last September where we did a presentation on Kindle Direct Publishing. So what I'll be sure to do is after today's presentation, I'm going to send a one-pager that just it goes over high-level resources that we talked about in today's presentation, but I'll
Perfect.
also include a direct link to that SCORE website so you can see the various recordings that we've previously done.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
no problem.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Um, we have probably less than a minute left. If anybody else has a question that's burning. Now, don't send me an email after this and ask me when you can ask Diana directly. Don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be shy. And yeah, please fill out that survey and let me know your honest feedback. It's always super helpful to know whether what we're presenting is relevant to your business.
Yeah. And just for folks who are part of the network, I'll be doing some breakdowns of what was presented. So we have the recording, so we'll break down that and, you know, really just help you to digest that because we want you to be sellers on Amazon. To my point in our promotion, like we want to be able to go to purchase from small businesses, and that's the reason why we're doing this workshop. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, thank you.
awesome.
So, Diana, thank you so much for spending the evening with us. It's been so great. I've learned a whole lot, and I'm
Good.
excited to go tell everybody what we've learned. And we look forward to the partnership, and maybe we could see you again soon.
Yes, sounds good, Nicole. Thank you so much. And like I said, I'll be sure to send you that one-page resource as well as the direct link to the SCORE website.
Wonderful. All right. Well,
All
you
right.
all have a great evening.
All right.
I am going to stop recording.